Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review round 6 of the 2024 SuperCoach season, NRL SuperCoach that is, and I guess an average week for us. Better than last week, as you can see, with the round rank shooting up, but still only around the top 20% for the round with an 1186, which was good enough for about 7,000 spots up in the ranks, but we're still 34,000th, which is well below where we would like to be at this time of the season. Obviously, a bit of bad luck again this week, but I guess not as much as last week, which was nice. But if we have a look at the team, so 3 wins out of 6, I guess that sort of makes it feel like a bit of an average week too. But Harry Grant with a 48 was a bit below average, but that's fine. He's not going anywhere in our team. Joey Lussick's getting a try and getting a 72 was nice. So he's reset his break even a bit, which is nice. So we can hang on to him a little bit longer. Reuben Cotter, pretty much on average with a 54. Terrell May back to his best with an 86. Sam Hughes on our bench with a 33 obviously didn't count towards our score. And Liam Henry was on the bye this week. Second row went fairly well. So Villiam and Kickout with an 81. Kai Pearce-Porth an 82. So, the couple sort of more attacking edge type options doing the business. Josh Curran with the 64 was solid, doing his thing. Nicola was our sort of pod trade-in. Didn't quite work out. Got a 60. Haven't looked at his stats yet, but I imagine, it was all base. So 46 tackles, what a weapon. 14 runs. Want to see it a little bit more here. Definitely want to see more in this column here, but it'll come. We know what he's capable of. The fact that he's making that many tackles on the edge, sort of suggests that he's got that base, which is pretty nice. Morgan Smithies with a 68, so he bounced back as well, alongside Terrell May. So for those who panic traded out, that's what you get. Nico Hines was our captain with an 82, so I think maybe May was our best option, but definitely wouldn't have gone that way for captaincy. So 82 is good, we'll take that. Nathan Cleary, he'll be back this week, hopefully, so that'll be nice. Ethan Strange was awesome with an 83, so definitely in the conversation for cheapie of the year. Unfortunately, the hammer went down injured this week, so this is probably what cost us a bit. Plus, also, you might notice there isn't a single sort of triple-digit score. So obviously, we skipped on Manu. We sort of said Crichton was a trap who went awesome. I think Sean Johnson went pretty well again this week. So, that's where we've missed out on points potentially. Also, carrying Cleary and Tedesco on your bench doesn't help. But the hammer, as we said, down with a hamstring injury, might sort of make the trades in the next couple of weeks a bit easier, or at least the decisions behind them a bit easier. But we'll discuss that a bit later. RTS with a 50, that's probably pass, but barely. Kiraz with a 73, all floating, doing the business. And James Schiller with a 69, getting a couple of tries. A bit scary that there's not a lot of base there, but he has just made 155k, so we really don't care that there's no base in that. So we went Bostock over Travojevic as our last reserve. Missed out on 4 points, so that's fine. Both getting a bit of meat, which was nice, and I think particularly for Benny Travojevic, resetting his break even as well at 4. So a good result for us. And Ryan Pappenhausen with the 75, actually losing a bit of value, but as a cut price keeper, it's not too bad, but we would like a little bit more out of him if we could get it. But before we talk trades, we'll look at the head-to-heads. So I guess maybe, because this is the one that shows up first, this is the most depressing. Ruben with a 13.24. So massive effort this week, Ruben. Be interesting to see where that places in the round ranks. I'd reckon it'd be pretty high. But as you can see, Kalen Ponga with a 91, Dylan Brown with an 86. Obviously, we let him go this week, so that cost us a few points. Playing a Bostock instead of playing Strange in our centre wing. Val Holmes was solid with a 73. Zach Lomax continuing to carve up on the wing with a 93. Stefano with the 73. That's pretty good for a front rower this season. And Bo Fermor with a 71. It was a good return for him as well. So, you sort of look at the Hammers score there, sticks out like a sore thumb. But it's just, other than Robson, all the pods were 70 plus. And, I'm carrying a Grant, a Cotter that didn't quite get there. Even a Nickera was 60, wasn't quite at that level. So you put all that together, and it adds up very quickly to about 150 points. But yes, had quite a bit in common too, which makes me suggest that I wasn't too far off, but just those pods didn't go my way this week. And just having a look, there is a 1347, 1374 for Trini All Stars. So, close one there too. So I might have a look at Trini All Stars first. See who they had. So Angus Crichton, yep, well done, bringing him in for a 79. Cobbo with an 85, so pretty nice pod. Ronaldo Mulatalo with a 110. So again, playing around these sort of pods that are going off. Joey Manu with a 117. So, it was a great trade in this week. But, as we talked about, we want to, try to use the centre wing to take all the cash that's on offer in the next couple of weeks. Set ourselves up for the end of the season. So, slightly a long game version of what we've got. Tommy Turbo with an 82 as well. Had Lomax, so pretty nice team. Getting 1374, and I guess Rosita would be pretty filthy to get a 1334 and losing the head to head. But the VC on Manu getting it over the line, Daniel, well done. What other pods have we got here? Saron Johnson 95, as we said, would have been great to get him in, but we decided to stick fat and save trades in the halfbacks. Turbo, Dylan Brown doing good. Captain the Lomax, so that wasn't the worst idea, but I guess it's no Joey Manu. Happy Coruscant with the 63, solid. And a lot of the other players we've already talked about. Xavier Willison on the bench with 80 as well, that probably stings a bit. Who are your front rowers? Terrell May, yep. Tom Hayledon with a 54, so yeah, I guess, swap Wilson in and that's a comfortable victory. But these things happen in SuperCoach. I guess we'll just give Little Fockers a quick shout out too. 1347. Had Joey Manu, Captain Hines, had SJ. Fantastic. A lot of the other weapons going. Blake Brayley even with a 81 was a nice return. Had Willison in the starting team, so well done there. Go to the second head-to-head matchup. Another defeat to Mr. Callio's disciples. So DWZ with a 91 is a nice pod. Dylan Brown, so that's burnt me a bit, but that's okay. Other than that, nothing too spectacular. So probably, Fanua Blake with a 76 should probably give props. So I guess, again, the 4 sticking out like a sore thumb there. Other than that, we all had the same. So we got 1320 for Matt's team, 1304. So again, another tight one here. The Cook Stars getting 1300 and losing head to head. So playing Wilson, nice. Carrying Josh Kerr, still getting the 1300 is pretty good. Cam Murray with the 35 is a bit flat. Yep, fantastic. Anyone else stand out? Joey Tarpany with an 81. Nice option in the front row there for Wayne. But we'll have a look at the 1320 from Short Dropout. So VC Ponga, which is nice. Joey Manu, turned up. Has Zach Lomax. Yep, and I guess a few of the ones we've already looked at. And in the third matchup, finally got a win, although squeaked over the line against the E-Tigers. So captaining Kalen Ponga, was a bit of an advantage. So just looking at this, I don't know where I've got the win, to be honest. I had Hammer, had an inferior captain. I had Grant playing. I guess I didn't have Hutchinson or Hughes, so that's a few points there. Even Jamal Fogarty with a 96. So I guess it was pretty close, but maybe just, a couple of the extra points in some positions got me over the line. But I can see another 1300, 1322 from Damo's walkabout. So VC Manu had SJ and Dylan Brown. Drinkwater with a 61, so that's, probably his lowest score for a few weeks. Has Joe Tarpany. Had Danny Levi as the auto emergency, so that's pretty flat. 18 from Levi. Particularly given I was tipping him to score a try, like most of the hookers had against the Titans this season. There you go. Cool. So I guess those are the matchups. We'll have a quick look at the league tables. If we go to the league. So in the SuperCoach Nuff's first league, so it looks like we've had a few, or everyone's been defeated at least once, but Canberra Milk still on top, Griffin Meme and Lane's Train in the 5-1 there, and I guess lagging down here in 15th, not looking too good for myself, but that's okay. So again, we've got 3 5-1s in the second league with Fully Sick, Window Shoppers, and obviously Oblivious with 5-1. So well done to those players. Again, so sitting 11th, 3-3, very much in the middle. Couple 0 and 6. So hopefully that changes in the coming weeks. And the Gunda guy, oh no, sorry, at the wrong end of the table here. So 2 5-1. So good to see there's no one running away with the leagues and giving us all a chance. Managed to squeak a fourth win in this league, so still hanging on in the top 8, but plenty of time to go yet for those that are playing. If we go to the draft league and have a look at how that went. So comfortably beaten by Johnson into Haas this week. So probably playing Cartwright was a bit of a fault given that Sean Bloor scored 87 on my bench. Other than that, the fact that we've got a lot of DNPs, obviously Cleary and Tedesco are guns, Isaiah Yeo very much in that category. Max King was a late withdrawal, so I had to sort of shuffle around. Played Brayley in my flex. So 42 for him and Marshall King, so it didn't really matter which way I went for hooker. Caesar with a 38. It's about all we can expect from our backup half option. Tamara Martin with a 72 was quite good though, and we'll talk about him a bit more in a minute. Barnett with an 80, so super handy having that dual position flexibility in the team. Covering front row, can play second row obviously. Adam Elliott tonned up, so I guess one that wasn't expected for a ton, but at least I got one this weekend, I suppose. Butcher with a 54 was solid, on par. Like I said, Cara was a bit flat. Rocco Berry with a 45. Jamin Salmon with a 50, who I sort of brought in for Bostock. So I lost a couple of points there, but just thought with the injuries at the moment, Salmon might have a bit more time in the middle, but I think he played 80 on the edge essentially. So that is what it is. But hopefully the cavalry comes back this week. But we'll have a look at the matchup. So 984. So having Victor Radley turn up was nice. Bradman Best with the 78, Munster with the 92. So some nice, I guess classic pods, but some great draft options there. Coates with the 58 probably deserved more points for that freakish try assist he put on. Having Nico Hines, was a solid captaincy option this week. So obviously, 40 points on top of my captain was a big difference maker this week. Totola with a 7, I guess that made this look a bit less embarrassing for me. And Hosking as well, I think he was injured also. So a couple of trades maybe there, just depending on the forecasts. But it looks like there's a bit of cover there anyway with Smithies. I don't know about front row. Maybe some dual position there. I'm not 100% sure. But I guess maybe something on the waivers in the front row this week. Couple of big scores though, like 4 900s and then a 1045 from Shano. So you know having Dan Tupou with a 131, that's a nice way to start your draft weekend. The Cheese with an 84, so that's a nice return from him. Having Tino, Tom Travojevic in the 80s. No real flops. Like, if you said Jerome Hughes was a flop at 47, you're probably being a bit harsh. That was his lowest score in the team too. So that's pretty handy to have that sort of coverage across your 13 or 14 if you count the flex in any given week. And yeah, still got Payne Haas sitting on the pine ready to come back in. So good stuff there. If we have a look at the table there, so we've got Croker's Hiss Horse and Rolling Stone Rocks, 4 and 1 at the top there. So again, pretty tight. Everyone, is within 3 games of the top. Plenty of time to go yet. So good stuff. I'm pretty sure we've got a pretty deep final series too from memory. But again, I don't remember because it was a while ago. All right, but I guess now we've done all the review, we'll start to look ahead to next week. And I sort of alluded to this in the round preview last Thursday about we didn't bring in Joey Manu because we didn't really want to clog up our centre wing spots. We had a few targets that we wanted to bring in this week. Namely Iro, Tamari Martin, although not a centre wing, but we are going to use Stranger's flexibility there. And Taylor May as a, cut price, not keeper necessarily, but definitely undervalued at his price. And particularly people getting off the pick, if we can jump on at this point, it's only one trade as opposed to 2 trades for people who trade out and then hopefully need to trade him back in. That will get us a leg up that way. So originally it was just going to be these 3 on the bench that sort of swapped for these 3. But with Benny Trovojevic's break-even resetting, and I guess combined with the Hammer's injury, it does make it pretty easy for us to make the decision. So the Hammer is out. Bostock, he's made us 200k. He's absolutely done his job for us. So thank you, Jack, for doing the business. And Talangi, was a bit of a wasted trade. Did make 70k, but can't foresee him coming back in anytime soon. No, I don't want that. I want to. Actually, I could do it by break even, I suppose, just so we can see what we're getting ourselves into. So Kale Oro, 46 last week, negative 76 break even. That's going to make us some good cash. Particularly if they do keep him around and keep Talakai as that edge back row type option. Tamari Martin, 72 on the weekend, so averaging 85, negative 59 break even. The Warriors are playing good footy, so he's an easy one to bring in. And then I guess he's not going to be on this list, is he? So we'll filter by our watch list. So Talon May, so break even of 62, but we know he has the capability of getting above that in any given week. So this is like the ultimate cut price keeper type option. All right, and as you can see, we have built a pretty sweet war chest to go into next week, and I guess we add on top of that, if we look at the watch list, Chevy Stewart, 29 this week wasn't great, but if he goes off this week, well then he becomes a must trade in next week. Or even if he's a bit flat this week, we can cash out Travojevic, make a 170k profit, being fairly conservative there. Um, and then, that gives us seven, what's that? What do I say? 170. Yeah, so it gives us like 800k. So um, I think we're fast running out of the boosts, but I guess if we want to leapfrog a few positions, we may risk it and try to, bring in a couple of guns somewhere else in the team. Preferably, sort of again, accessing some of the second row, front row guns potentially. Payne Haas isn't far off, so trading a Sam Hughes to a Payne Haas would be pretty nice. All right, but I guess in terms of how the team will set up this week, I'm gonna put Taylor May in. So I guess these guys are our gun options. Probably Strange will be there too, and I guess depending on matchups, Sharks against the Cowboys is a bit tough. Raiders against the Broncos. Manly against the Gold Coast. So if he's named a player, we might be able to use Travojevic. But realistically, we might not actually have to because I just realised we've got Tedesco back. Might even just remove one of these, two of these. Cleary's back, Galvin's back. So, we do have access to quite a few options this week. Guess it's who sits out. Um, well, we need two front rowers. We're not going to bench one of these guys. I mean, there's lots of great options. So is it even, Galvin against the Penrith? Sorry, he plays for the Tigers. He might, be worth benching this week. So we can play Nikora, Smithies, Cleary, Tedesco, super strong bench. So it's just a question of who do we want to VC in this game. And yeah, it's much of a muchness. I think the Roosters are the favourites, but I'd probably back the Storm. So let's just go Pappenhausen. Maybe is a bit more of a pod move. And then I think Cleary is our captain against the Tigers. Saturday afternoon footy is always conducive to attacking footy. Um, yeah, so let's do that. And yeah, Tamara Martin's fine. So yeah, I think it's going to line up something like that. I guess the question marks are: does Ben Travojevic play? And even if he doesn't, he can sit on our bench this week. And the absolute worst case scenario is he gets traded to Chevy Stewart and we pocket 150 instead of 170. Um, I think Galvin's fine to sit out this week against Penrith. That's always a tough one for attacking players. You know, Power against the Dolphins up at, I think that's Darwin, isn't it? TIO Stadium. Could be a bit slippery with, a sort of a muggy, greasy sort of game. Don't really know. But yeah, I think, pretty comfortable with all that. Nicola plays late, so that's fine. I guess the Bulldogs and Newcastle play late too, so we can maybe just have Kickow on the pine there in case we need to swap him out. Yeah, I think other than that, it's pretty well good to go. So that's the team, how it's situated at the moment. Um, so yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Subscribe for all of the content. I guess like it if you enjoy the Supercoach content. I've done that in the reverse order. I couldn't remember what I lost in the middle there. But other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.